Waiting isn't something people typically like to do, whether it be for a train, food, a new release, or a video to start. Waiting inhibits our access to the things we want, even if only briefly. It's not something anyone intends to create, but is a consequence of human inefficiency. However, this does not apply to the realms of art. Wavelength is a film released in 1967 by Canadian artist Michael Snow, a central figure in the history of American avant-garde art. The film consists of a 45-minute zoom towards a picture of waves on the wall of an empty building. Throughout the film, there is a constant ringing that gets louder and louder as the film goes on, with the camera changing between different times of the day throughout the runtime. At one point, the camera goes to night and we hear a struggle before seeing a man walk on screen and die. 20 minutes later, a woman walks in and reports the body on the phone before walking off screen. The camera keeps zooming in more and more until eventually the waves consume the frame and the ringing fades out along with the image, leaving nothing but white before cutting to black. There's a lot of ways this film can be interpreted. Is it a practical joke, or is it a deeply thought-provoking artwork on the passage of time and its relationship with the audience? The answer is however you perceive it. While certainly an interesting experiment showing how long you can make an audience member sit and wait, I think there's a film that does it better, which was released 3 years before. Empire is a film released in 1964 directed by Jonas Mekas and Andy Warhol. Mekas is most well known for the biographical film As I Was Moving Ahead, Occasionally I Saw Brief Glimpses of Beauty, a groundbreaking work showing over 30 years of his personal life shot on film and narrated for nearly 5 hours. A tribute to life and art strung together not as a chronological story, but as seen fit. Warhol, on the other hand, is the most popular artist of the latter half of the 20th century. His works are characterized by an overt critique to the rampant consumerism in America, mass-produced over and over like the products and people he often satirized, leading to a new movement known as pop art. Empire consists entirely of an 8-hour static shot of the Empire State Building, from 8:06 p.m. on the 25th of July 1964 to 2:42 a.m. on the 26th. Now, wait a minute, you might be saying, that's only 6.5 hours, so how is it 8 hours long? While the film was shot in the standard 24 frames a second, it was screened in 16 frames a second. Normally, a change like this would create a minuscule time difference, but for hours of footage, a change in frame rate is much more significant. To this day, it stands as the longest film preserved at the National Film Registry. There is no major content to be found in the film. It's purely just an encapsulation of the passage of time, utilizing a symbol of American might and dominance as a framing device. When asked why he created this film, Warhol simply stated, "To see time go by." Empire is a dizzying experience. It warps your perception of time so heavily that you may not even notice when it turns from day to night, or the lights on a building flickering on. You just sit and wait and wait and wait. There's not even any sound, so once it turns to night, the film becomes incredibly static, like you're staring at a photograph. Eventually the main lights turn off, but that's it. There's no grand reveal to be found, just you, the city, and the endless night sky, for 8 agonizing hours. Now imagine spending that entire time driving a bus. Desert Bus is a game featured on Penn Teller's Smoke and Mirrors, a compilation video game developed by Absolute Entertainment that was planned to release on the Sega CD. An add-on for the Sega Genesis that allowed the console to play CD games, offering benefits such as full motion video at the cost of a lower aspect ratio and lower frame rate. Smoke and Mirrors was designed primarily by American comedy magicians and libertarian skeptic duo Penn Jillette and Teller. Their seminal work, Penn & Teller Bullshit, was a show that ran for 8 seasons from 2003 to 2010 on the Showtime network. The show follows the titular duo as they tackle pseudoscience, the paranormal, fads, and other various misconceptions people have about the world.
We're gonna hunt down as many purveyors of bullshit as we can. Sure, we lie, cheat, and swindle. We've been known to deal in a bit of bullshit ourselves. So some of you may ask, why pee on someone else's parade? One important difference. We tell you we're lying.
While Smoke and Mirrors was developed many years before this show, it nonetheless shows Penn & Teller's ability to, as they say, deal in a bit of bullshit themselves. Smoke and Mirrors consists of 2 games designed to trick your friends into thinking the game is psychic, 2 shoot-em-ups where you give the other player a secret disadvantage, a janky beat-em-up in which you control Penn & Teller, and the crown jewel of this collection, Desert Bus. So, okay, what is the gameplay of Desert Bus? Well, you're looking at it. Your goal is to drive this bus from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas. The road is entirely straight, stretching for 360 miles. Your bus tops out at 45 miles per hour, equating to an 8-hour journey. In real time. Now, 8 hours by the standards of most video games of the time is pretty standard, at least for non-completionist runs, and is pretty good value for one game out of a collection of 6. But what Desert Bus has that's different to most games is its pause feature. Or I guess, a lack of one. You cannot pause this game. No pausing, no saving, it's just you and the open road for 8 hours straight. The journey is beyond unstimulating. There's no other cars passing by, no people waiting at the various bus stops, no music on the radio, just you, dead trees, bushes, and the empty road. You can press a button to open the door, but all this amounts to is a noise being played. There's one event that happens, a bug splats on your window. After 5 hours. You might think you can just leave the game idle, but the bus constantly veers to the right, requiring you to steer to the left to avoid running off the road. If you're off-road for too long, the engine overheats and the bus comes to a complete stop. The bus starts getting towed back the way you came. In real time. If you somehow manage to complete the 8-hour drive, you are awarded a point. Then you drive back the same way for another point. Again, and again, and again, until you give up, your electricity cuts, or you die. There are many questions, and a not insubstantial amount of them can't be answered, but the main one I want to focus on is, why? In 1993, Jeanette Reno became the first woman appointed Attorney General. She would hold that position throughout the entire Clinton administration until 2001. During her time in office dealing with Waco, the Unabomber, the Oklahoma City bombing, the Sentinel Olympic Park bombing, and Microsoft antitrust violations, she found some time to oppose violence on TV, the internet, and of course, video games. We don't have the time to get into the specifics of violent games and their effects on society and the media. Just know for now that it's a stupid argument hinging on the idea that everyone in society is a gullible moron, and that this campaign from Reno would later result in the 1997 Communications Decency Act, which aimed to prohibit adult content on the internet, which got her in trouble with the Civil Liberties Union, who opposed the anti-indecency provisions of the CDA, which was in violation of the First Amendment. Seeing all these different pressures from the government and the media for companies to create more sensible games, Penn & Teller looked to create the most realistic game possible at the time. No violence, just the mundanity of real life. That's when primetime Emmy Award-winning writer Eddie Gorodetsky, known for his work on 2.5 Men, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, SNL, and many other shows, came up with the concept for Desert Bus.
Desert Bus was a game that we came up with Eddie Gorodetsky.
And the idea was Janet Reno, under the Clinton administration, had come down. She was the first to, and then Hillary Clinton, and then everybody else, come down on video games and gamers and said that they shouldn't be doing all this violent stuff. They should do things that are more peaceful and more like reality. Because that's what entertainment is.
There's your answer. Pressures from an out-of-touch government led to Penn Jillette creating a video game that would be appealing to all ages, where the fun is found in how long you can stay awake while not drifting off the road. I wonder what the current president thinks about video games. Video game violence and glorification must be stopped. It is creating monsters. I see. Anything else? I'm gonna bomb Iran. Wait, what? So, after all these politics and controversy, what's the legacy of Desert Bus? Well, first it's important to talk about something I've neglected to mention up until now. Smoke and Mirrors, despite being finished and review copies being sent out, was never actually released to the public. The publisher, Absolute Entertainment, had gone completely bankrupt, filing for Chapter 7 and ceasing operation in November of 1995. This not only cancelled a planned 3DO and Windows port, but also the Penn Jillette Desert Bus Challenge. This was a planned competition where the person with the highest score would have been flown out to Tucson, Arizona and put on a bus to Las Vegas. Though, unlike the game, it would have been far more stimulating with showgirls, live bands, and probably other amenities. Then, the winner would have stayed at the Reno Hotel and Casino, where you most likely would have been given a VIP ticket to one of Penn Jellette's shows, since they regularly perform there to this day. This competition was the idea of Barry Marks, an almost entirely unknown game designer who worked with Penn Jillette to design Smoke and Mirrors. But unfortunately, he had a heart attack before it could be brought to light. Well, without a bus full of showgirls, what other reason could people have to play this game? In September of 2005, video games preservationist, historian, and developer Frank Cifaldi, the founder of the Video Game History Foundation, received a backup CD-ROM from a writer that had received a review copy of Smoke and Mirrors a decade prior. He went on to publish his review to the Something Awful forums and included a torrent link to download the game. On the 28th of February 2006, Andy Bio published an article to his personal blog Waxy, reflecting on Desert Bus, and mentions Cifaldi's review, providing an updated download link. For the time. This was noticed by Morgan Van Humbeck, a member of the internet comedy group Loading Ready Run, who discovered the article and likely showed the rest of the team. While co-founder Paul Sanders wanted to just use Desert Bus for a sketch, at the same time James Turner wanted to find a way they could use their notoriety to raise money for Child's Play, a charity ran by Penny Arcade authors Mike Krahulik and Jerry Holkins, which donates games and toys to children's hospitals around the globe. These ideas merged together and created Desert Bus for Hope, which has been going on for my entire life? Holy shit. It's a mix of your standard Desert Bus gameplay mixed with sketch comedy, interviews, giveaways, playthroughs of other games, and wait, is that Dan Olsen? What the fuck?
Bring back promotional Halo 2 branded condoms.
This team has worked together to raise over $12 million over 19 years, and an additional $205K for the British Columbia Cancer Foundation in 2025, and $42K for Community in 2026, with their new Desert Bus Express show. All their streams are a great watch. You should check them out and donate if you can, because they do amazing work. Despite what I've discussed, Desert Bus isn't all that complicated. While on one hand you could see it as an avant-garde masterpiece that dissects the working class, the endless grind towards an unfulfilling reward, and the slow march of time that accompanies it, really it's just a practical joke designed to waste your time and money, born out of a man's beef with an attorney general and her hostile attempts to censor the media. It's a waiting game without an ounce of depth. It's just work. You drive, and drive, and drive, and drive. No greater purpose, just you and the open road for 8 hours. Static, unchanging, unbroken, waiting. A monument to hours gone by. A time empire. Well, this took longer than expected. I planned to get this video out in time for Desert Bus Express this year, but I kept being delayed with school and other stuff. Pretty pathetic for a video this short. Speaking of Desert Bus Express, you should go support the DBFH crew. Their 20th voyage is happening this year on the 23rd of October. Go watch the live stream and donate if you can. Donations are closed right now, but they'll open up when the show starts, and possibly a bit before. Just to make it clear, I'm not affiliated with them, and I'm not being told to say this, I just think you should. If anyone from the crew is watching this, then thanks for the hard work you do, and you should totally get me on the show, wink wink nudge nudge. Next video is on Cruelty Squad, stay tuned for that. Otherwise, have a good day. See ya.